What's up, Saab fans around the world, and welcome back to another video. And in the last video I got some positive response regarding the quality of the video, so I have went one step further. So this video will also be in 4K quality, which is super nice. I have also added an external mic, so the video will be perfect either if I'm in front of the camera or if I'm behind the camera. So this will be a great improvement for the channel. And regarding improvements, we are going to do some upgrades that wasn't done on this car from the beginning. We are going to fix what's wrong with it. So the first issue we are going to tackle is behind this wheel. And I will show you in a second what I'm talking about. So of course this is not your regular Saab 9.5. Usually when you upgrade stuff or change stuff, you just replace them with like either bigger, better, or whatever it might be. The attachment points is still the same. But for my build, I had to make my own or create my own. And since there is some lack of space, I made it like this. So what we are going to do today is upgrade the sway bar, which isn't working as it should. So I have a pretty big sway bar. I don't know, you can see it. It's 26 millimeters and it's a solid rod. So it's very sturdy, but this arm right here, it's 5mm steel, so it's quite stiff too. But the length of everything, together with the drop link, which is also an upgraded drop link, but since it's so long from this point to the point up here or the point up here, makes it not so stable when it's on the road. So what we want to do with the sway bar is decrease body roll of the car when moving from side to side. So there is really two ways of doing this. Either you have a construction like this with a drop link from the strut, because the sway bar is going to follow the motion of the spring. But the other way that you can do it is attach something to the control arm. So if you have an OG93, you know that the sway bar attaches to the control arm rather than the strut and the dampener. So what I did was I went onto the internet and searched for drop links. And there are a lot of drop links to choose from. A lot of them are adjustable, but the cheaper adjustable ones are usually crap from what I have read from comments. It's like the first time you are going to adjust them and tighten them, you will destroy the threads. So what's better to do is look for an OEM alternative that works. So what I did, I started to search and I found this. These very short and sturdy drop links are from a Nissan R35 GTR. So I think this will be the ultimate upgrade. I think so, at least. So what I will do is I will remake the attachment so that the low drop link will attach down here. Then I will modify the arm quite a bit, so I will lower it so it attaches to this one. So I have one for the left and one for the right, and the principle will be the same. It will move up and down together with the movement, what you say, and it will just, I see that right now, it will sit just above the steering rack, so we will see how that works. but I think it will not be a problem. And the other thing that I did wrong is that now when it's dropped down in its lowest position, I could just insert the drop link, which is wrong. The normal should be when you have the wheels at ride height, you should barely be able to fit it into the sway bar. So when the car is at ride height, it's not any force on it, because the force on the sway bar should be when it bounces up or down, and it should even out the two sides, so you will get a better grip and less body roll on the car. So here we have the sway bar out. You can see the design. The sway bar itself is very sturdy, I would say. And the old drop links are not bad either. Just that the package got a little bit too long. So now we need to figure out where this should sit. And I think they should attach somewhere around here. I think they would be the least amount away, in the way of the steering rack, because it could get pretty close when it's turning, but it will sit something like this, so it will not interfere. And then we will just adjust so we get the attachment point correct. So I will just, you can see that it's actually a hole drilled already into here, but we will do it a bit further in and then just attach it. And then we will adjust so we got the correct height on the sway bar. As I said, so it's like zero load on the sway bar when we are at ride height. So now we got the new drop links in place. And the way it's going to bounce up and down is going to be so much shorter than it was before. So I think this will be a really good upgrade. And of course it will follow the springs up and down, since the control arm is attached to the spindle. So if you attach it down here or up here, it really doesn't matter. It will do the same motion. But of course the motion will be bigger if you go further out or longer in on the control arm. But we will test this and see if it works. If it doesn't work, we will redo it in some way, maybe move it out further. But now I will throw on the sway bar again and we will see where we should make the attachment point. So if you remember from the beginning, I said that the sway bar should attach to the drop link where the car is at ride height. So we will just gently jack up the car until it starts to almost lift the car. So that is basically where your ride height will be. And this is the easiest to get access to everything. So this is basically where it sits. So we are going to make a new hole approximately right here in the middle of it, and we will do the same angle right here. So we have to angle it and cut it a little bit and then drill a new hole. And we will check the other side. And it's basically the same right here. So this will be where the ride height is, and I think it will sit pretty good like that. And it will be a so much better solution, I think. Now it doesn't have that travel as it had before. So we will go with this and see how it turns out. So here is the result with everything attached. And now it's at its lowest point. That's why you could see that it's tilting a little bit. So when it's raised up, it will be straight up. And the primarily thing about the sway bar is it should take even out the forces when the car bumps up on one side and down on the other side, so to speak, to keep it leveled. But it will also take some heat when it comes to lateral forces. So forces from the side, let's say you take sharp turn and it's going down into like bend or anything, it will bounce down a little bit. So what I have to do, because it's really solid in the up and down movement, the rod, the big sway bar underneath the car is very solid, but what's not solid at the moment is this. This is 5mm steel, so it will not bend when it goes like this, but going in and out we need to fix that because it has some flex to it right now. So I will add a support bar straight over like this, so it won't flex this way either. So it will be like 100% stiff, or the material itself could always flex a little bit, but it will not flex that much at least. And with this upgrade, it doesn't have anything to do with the steering anymore, so it will only be the bounce movement up and down. So I think this will be really good. So a bit of cutting and a bit of welding made this really solid. So I jacked up the wheel hub and the assembly to ride height, then tightened this down as hard as I could, and now it doesn't flex much at all, just a little bit from like the steel material itself, and the sway bar is sitting with rubber bushings, so those will also flex a little bit, because I think it needs a little bit of flex, otherwise it will just break other stuff. But this is so much sturdier than it was before. Before I had this long one, you remember from the beginning of the video. This is a really nice upgrade, but it needs to be dialed in perfectly, and this long arm that I had was not optimal. So I think this R35 GTR droplinks together with this reinforcement of this one makes it a hell of a lot sturdier. So now I'm pretty excited about next test drive, but it will not be in this video, unfortunately. What we will do right now is start the car, let it run for a couple of minutes so the oil gets up to temperature and it circulates in the engine. Then I will drop the oil, see how many liters I will get out from the oil pan, because after the breakdown of the engine in the dyno, I got out, I think it was 2.6 or 2.8 liters of oil from just the oil pan itself, which is very, very low. It should be like 4.5, 5 liters, since I have a custom oil pan. But we will run it up to temperature, drain the oil, then fill up with 4.5, 5 liters of new oil. So then I know that the oil pan contains the right amount of oil at least. not a lot that's needed, just a couple of minutes so we get the oil pumping a little bit. Degrees Celsius. Still got oil pressure. It takes a while for this oil pressure gauge to get to the correct, but at idle it should be like around 1.8 bar or something like that. We do not need to run the oil extremely hot, just so it pumps around a little bit. I think that will do, otherwise we will burn ourselves. So we got the old oil out. Let's see how much we got out of the car. Would say that it's pretty much spot on this time. Here we can see right on the mark, so that's really nice. So we will refill the engine with 5 liters of oil, and you could see a little bit on the old oil that it had some, I would say it looked like it was like when you get water into the oil, it was like a bit like milk. Not 100%, but it could be some old dirt or debris. So this is just break-in oil. I think I will refill this oil, then run the car, and now you should know that the car has not been running for very long. It's just a few minutes each time, getting up to temperature, because the car is not road legal yet, so I cannot take it out on the roads and drive it for hours yet, but that is of course the goal. But I think I will like flush the engine this way, do a couple of oil changes with a bit cheaper oil, so everything gets flushed around. Since we have new bearings, both crank and rod bearings, and a lot of stuff on the car is new and barely not broken in yet. So we will take this time to break in the engine. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It was quite a short one and I didn't show each and every step, but you saw the result of what I did. We have done an oil change. We know it's 5 liters in the engine. And in the next episode, we will fix the clutch, because that has been an issue with this car as well. So we will fix the clutch, install a new main cylinder for the clutch, and we will install a steel braided line so it doesn't flex at all. And hopefully we will get a better clutch feeling and also a better shift feeling, because now you have to push down the clutch to the very bottom end to be able to shift, and it makes it kind of hard sometimes. And after we have done the clutch change, we will take it out for a drive, see how the new sway bar reacts, and I'm very excited to try it out. I think it will stay planted with the new one. Otherwise, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, it means a lot to me. And I'm not rich by any means, but I want to give something back. So if you have watched this video to the end, I will give you the opportunity to comment just swaybar. Comment swaybar down in the comments. You don't have to follow, you don't have to subscribe, you don't have to do anything other than comment swaybar down below, give the video a thumbs up, and I will send out these Moog upgraded droplinks for Saab 95. So one of you will get these. I will just pick a winner. This will not be a giveaway, so to speak. You don't have to do anything. Just drop a comment down below and this could be yours. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.